I want to lose weight, but my girlfriend, which is like a wild title for a video by Kiana Docherty. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but I've seen her videos before. I'm subscribed to her channel, and this looks like a wild one. So unless Milky Ways get you in the mood, you go to Subway, you can have it your way. If you're a Burger King, you could be my Burger Queen. I don't know what's going on in this woman's world or what is causing the girlfriend to act this way, because you would think if you're in a relationship, you would want somebody to be the best version of themselves. I just personally think that's something that I would want at least. So let's see what she's talking about in this one.
What do you do when you can't find the motivation, but you know you need to change your life?
I see a kid who's overweight, lazy, someone who needs to change.
When even your family starts to doubt that you can turn things around.
I think Tanner will absolutely be able to reach his goal weight.
I can see some failure.
And your supportive girlfriend?
Like, how many days a week are you going to be working out?
She's not quite as supportive as you thought she was.
My whole world's upside down right now. I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Well, that's exactly what
That's kind of a brutal thing of the parents to say. I could see some failure. How about we encourage our kids a little bit to try to strive to be something better? But all right, I guess the dad's just like, well, when you're like really overweight, like you let people down a lot, you won't do what you say you're going to do. This kid doesn't strike me as like extremely overweight. He's overweight, but he's not anywhere near anything that I would talk about on like my 600-pound life or anything.
what happened to Tanner, a high school senior from the 2013 MTV Classic, I Used to Be Fat. And in this episode, we follow Tanner, who at 18 years old had to quit the wrestling team because he gained over 100 pounds in the last year.
I want to be able to fit into.
Damn, was that this girlfriend? How many Milky Ways did she feed you? God, that's friggin' ridiculous. 100 pounds that quick. Not saying I've never done it, but just saying if the girlfriend came along and then all of a sudden he just started gaining weight, something's really fishy about that.
To a singlet again, wrestling something that I love doing, but it's not something that's probable for me anymore because of the weight that I've gained.
Tanner's weight is so out of control that he's already having trouble bending over, jeopardizing his future career as a plumber. And on top of it all, Tanner even feels like his weight is standing in between him and his ultimate dream, marrying his girlfriend of 3 years, Michaela.
I don't know.
Bro, in high school, like, it's very rare that you're gonna marry your high school sweetheart. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying everyone remembers their high school sweetheart. Everyone remembers that it was like usually pretty, I mean, a lot of times they're toxic relationships and we're just keeping it real.
If she would marry me, you know, the way that I look, I mean, who would?
But if Tanner's going to succeed, he's going to need to figure out the biggest obstacle in front of him, himself.
I need somebody that can be there to push me. I do not know how to be that person for myself.
P.S. Did you know that we have a community Discord server? I'm currently not very active on Discord, sorry guys, but if you are into that kind of thing, you can join using the link below. I'm also slightly more active on Instagram these days, so you can follow me there. Anyway, back to Tanner. Now, Tanner's a normal, happy kid on the outside.
I'm always smiling, I'm always laughing, I'm always giggling about something.
Tanner, why are you so fat?
Oh, good one, buddy. Why you got a Justin Bieber haircut? You trying to be him? You singing here, baby, baby? Like, these haircuts are giving me a throwback to 2013, but that's hilarious.
But his weight is really starting to take a toll on his life. Being overweight is standing in between him and his future career. He had to quit wrestling because he's too heavy.
And I was fairly successful, but I gained weight and now I don't do it anymore.
And this has really hurt his relationship with his wrestling coach, his dad.
We pretty much lost.
His dad's had a couple hot pots in his day, too. If you look, he's rolling out a little bit there, too. So I don't think he should be the most judgmental person.
That bond we had for many, many years.
But we can't talk about Tanner without talking about his girlfriend, Michaela.
This here's my girlfriend. I would definitely say that she's hot. She's amazing.
Tanner spends nearly all of his time with Michaela, and his life revolves around her. Look at his walls.
She's a varsity cheerleader, and we've been dating for just over 3 years. My girlfriend's hot, you know, I think she's just the most beautiful person in the world.
This is obviously his first love, and he's very clearly very infatuated with her. And the first time I watched this episode, I thought that their relationship was really wholesome and supportive, especially at such a young age.
You could look like a cyclops and I would still love you.
Do you think I need to lose weight?
I think that you need to lose weight for health reasons. I love you and I want you here forever.
So when Tanner's dad kept making comments like this throughout the episode,
Tanner gained most of his weight since he's been in a relationship with Michaela. Still think it might have something to do with you. He needs to be out of this relationship as much as he needs to succeed here.
I thought
Look, like, do I think that she might have something to do with his level of comfortability, eating more and everything? Yeah, but it's teenage romance. What do you expect? That, like I said, a lot of times there's things that happen when you're a teenager that you wouldn't put up with as an adult in a dating situation. But I don't know. It doesn't seem that bad right now, but I don't really know her or him yet.
we were in for another evil parent situation like we saw with Janie, Tara's mom, in the last episode. But according to this MTV poll from 2011, it wasn't only Tanner's dad that held this opinion. 60% of people who watched this episode felt that Michaela had something to do with Tanner's weight gain.
Well, damn, not just 60, 69%, which I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why she's so terrible yet, but there's some writing in the sand. If the dad's saying that, usually there's some kind of truth to it, but the dad's also saying, I could see you being a failure, son, so he's not exactly the most supportive.
Between the time that we started dating and now, I've gained just over 100 pounds.
Now, Tanner and Michaela definitely spend a lot of their time together just Netflix and chilling and eating junk food, although it was 2011, so would that be like Blockbuster?
I've never seen 10,000 tapes in one store.
But did Michaela really have something to do with Tanner's weight gain? You'll have to judge for yourself.
Dude, I love Blockbuster so friggin' much back in the day. It used to be so much fun to actually go there, grab a movie, be annoyed when you had to return it, but now all that's out the window. Everything's right at your fingertips. Just bootleg it like everybody else if you want to see it that bad.
So MTV sends a personal trainer out to meet Tanner, and it's kind of fun because so far from all the episodes I've seen, MTV sends a new personal trainer almost every single time, and they all seem to have their own approach. In the past, we had the classic boot camp style trainer.
Marcy's progress so far is not where I want it to be. Tell her to suck it up.
Then last time, the more motivational, supportive type.
Get a visual picture of how you want to go in that first day of college. Reaching your goals, dancing, doing whatever you want to do. It's a day at a time.
And today we meet our new trainer, Eric.
Tanner?
Yeah.
I'm Eric. I'm a trainer.
Hey,
I'm here to help change your life.
right on.
So Eric asked Tanner why he wants to lose weight. What's his motivation?
Why do you want to lose weight?
And Tanner says he wants to be a plumber, he misses wrestling, but...
The main reason is because I want to marry my girlfriend.
So I mean...
Bro, you think you want to marry your girlfriend. You don't heart. I mean, they've been dating 3 years, but it's high school. Like, very rare situation where they're actually going to get married. Someone's going to be in the comments, I married my high school sweetheart. You're the exception, not the rule. It usually don't play out that way.
I mean, that sounds cute and all. Our loved ones can definitely be great sources of motivation, but things get kind of dicey when they're our only source of motivation. And our main goal is really just to look cute for them so they like us more. And I know some people are already running to the comments to be like, fuck motivation. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. And you guys know I'm a discipline fan, but this kind of statement is just not true. You do need motivation. All behavior is motivated behavior. It's just that motivation doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means. Motivation isn't just that fired up feeling that you have toward your goal sometimes. It's much deeper than that. Motivation is actually such an important component of changing your behavior that I have almost 2 full modules on it in my behavior change course, How to Change. But yeah, one behavior change model says you need all 3 of these things in order to successfully change your behavior: opportunity, capability, and motivation. Let's see how Tanner stacks up. Opportunity. Does our environment or the context allow for the change to occur? Tanner is on MTV to change his life. He definitely has opportunity. Capability. Do we have the knowledge, skill, and ability to change? Again, being on MTV to change your life definitely takes care of that. Plus, he's like an able-bodied 18-year-old boy who actually used to be an athlete, definitely is capable of physically changing. Motivation. Is there sufficient motivation for the change to occur? Well, is looking good for Michaela enough? Time will tell.
But let's say something happens with Michaela and they're not going out to eat as much and she's not happy with their daily fast food intake and the things they used to do together before. And that's kind of like high school stuff. Like, oh, we go out to eat, we do this, we do that. That's kind of what we like. So if that relationship's gone, does that mean all of his drive's gone? What pushes you to change? Like, pressure burst pipes, pressure make diamonds. Which one are you? Are you a pipe or are you a diamond? And this guy wants to be a plumber anyway, so I would think plumber crack's kind of inducive to wanting to be a plumber, so being fat's kind of part of it.
To begin his journey, Tanner steps on the scale for his first weigh-in and discovers that he's 263 pounds. Together, Tanner and Eric decide on an 80-pound weight loss goal for the next 110 days.
We're gonna go with a goal weight of 183 pounds.
I'm so excited. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Again, extremely unnecessarily aggressive goal, but at least it wasn't
3,500 calories a day deficit.
100 pounds in 90 days like last time. So Tanner's journey began.
Really? Somebody told her to lose 100 pounds in 90 days? That seems unattainable. For some 600-pound people would struggle with that. Why are you pushing teenagers to absolutely hate the diet and hate working out that much?
And he is crushing it right out of the gate.
You're a machine. You're a wrestler.
It's been a long time since I've worked out as hard as I have been, basically since I quit wrestling.
Tanner really throws himself into the process. He's hitting PRs, and you can tell that he's really starting to feel better about himself.
Pretty confident that I'm going to do well in the weight loss and achieve my goals.
And when the first weigh-in rolls around after about 2 weeks, Tanner's already lost almost 17 pounds.
What do you think?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the way that I feel. Because I'm a beast.
He's well on his way to his goals and being able to fulfill his dream of marrying his girlfriend.
Realize how much time I'm not going to be able to spend with Michaela, so I want to spend some quality time with her before the summer gets crazy.
You know that I love you no matter what.
I'm glad to have your encouragement.
Like, how many days a week are you going to be working out?
7.
7 days?
Bro, I told you she was not gonna like the change in the relationship. It's just classic teenager stuff. Like, everybody has some kind of issue with the slightest change at that age. It's the end of the friggin' world. If anything changes, you're a teenager. Like, it just messes with your whole routine.
Days a week? That's a lot.
A few moments later.
Michaela broke up with me. Working out 4 hours a day, I never got to see her, so this program's put a lot of strain on our relationship.
Yeah, so Michaela dumped Tanner because he was spending too much time working out. Man, I do not miss being 18. 1 week you're in love talking about getting married, and the next week you guys are broken up. First loves are particularly devastating too. Like, you're obviously going to be pretty messed up for a while. It's a full-on grieving process, especially.
Bro, tell me who does not remember the first time they got their friggin' heart broken. It was the end of the world for like maybe a month, maybe even 2. If you really grieved at that. But they were together 3 years. I forget the rule. It's like every 6 months you're together, you can grieve like 2 weeks or something like that. So I guess that would mean he could grieve for 3 months if he really wanted to. I think there's some kind of rule like that.
Especially if you thought you guys were going to get married and live happily ever after. And in this kind of situation, everyone needs time to process and deal with their feelings, however that looks for them and their unique situation, including being depleted of any semblance of motivation for a while. Experiencing a complete loss of motivation post-breakup, that is very normal, and you should probably just let yourself be demotivated for a while.
Honestly, I just really don't feel like working out. All I think about is Michaela.
Also, there's a 50-50 chance they get back together. The second he's like, oh, well, I'm not throwing around weights anymore, we can go to Wendy's, she's going to say, all right, let's go. And they'll end up back together. It's just classic teenage stuff.
But as anyone who's gone through a breakup will know, after that period of time, you can enter one of the most motivational periods of time of life. As you start to try and refigure out who you are and who you want to be, especially now that you don't have that whole big part of your life. But that is not how it goes down for Tanner.
I wanted to lose the weight and I wanted to be thin for her. I revolved my life around her, basically.
In Tanner's case, the whole reason that he wanted to do this entire show was to impress and then marry Michaela.
You're one of.
All right, so now start losing weight so you can look better and start dating her cousin. I don't know. Some guys are driven by different things. I'm just saying. That might be the reason that he starts actually getting after it, or he just falls to pieces worrying about her all the time. Like I said, he might.
The only reasons I actually got through the workout today.
All of Tanner's motivation was tied up in his relationship with Michaela. So not surprisingly, with Michaela out of the picture, Tanner struggles to find the motivation to keep pushing himself. Weeks go by and Tanner has fallen off track, and his weigh-in reveals that he's gaining weight. And when Eric confronts him about his level of commitment to the program, Tanner literally says, I just feel like there's no reason to go on with the program at all. And so here's Eric's opportunity to turn things around and refocus Tanner on his goals. And so what does he do? What does he say? What are his bag of tricks to help motivate Tanner?
This program is a big boy program. It's like, it's time for you to be a man. It's time for you to be a man today.
That's it. You're gonna go with, it's time for you to be a man It's just so weak. There's nothing to it.
I don't think that one's really going to drive him at this point. If anything, maybe his career, but the only thing this kid's going to be thinking about is Michaela. Like I just said, they were together 3 friggin' years. He's a teenager. That is the love of his life at this point. He would move heaven and earth just to marry her. He was willing to lose 80 pounds in 100 days just so he could get down on one knee. And that was driving. That was his everything. Now all he's got would be spite if he wanted to actually prove somebody wrong. Spite's a powerful tool too.
Boy program.
Like, this is opportunity to be like, no, Tanner, you got to do this for you. You can't do this for a girl. You got to do it for you. See, now this is where a really good personal trainer would have noticed from the beginning that Tanner's motivation was in the wrong spots. And a really good personal trainer would have taken the time to get Tanner clear on why this entire process is worth it for him. Not for Michaela, but for Tanner. There are buttons you can push to motivate someone, and Eric is not pushing them. So at this point, let's explain a little bit about what motivation actually is. The motivation equation in one of its simplest forms is M equals V times E minus C. Motivation equals value times expectancy minus cost, where
or morbidity equals Belvita times ego minus calories. Okay, I figured it out. Got it.
Value is how important or rewarding we think completing the task will be. How much do I want the outcome of weight loss? How excited am I to lose this weight? Why does this matter to me? That's all contained in the value we place on achieving the goal. Expectancy is how likely we think we are to succeed at the task. The more confident we are that we're going to achieve the goal and thus receive the award, the more motivated we are to work towards it. And the cost is the perceived effort or cost to achieve that outcome. How much energy do we have to expend? How hard do we have to work in order to receive that reward? So to put it plainly, we feel motivated to work on our goals when, 1, we place a lot of importance on the outcome of the goal.
True.
We want the reward associated. We want the outcome really, really badly. 2, we think achieving the goal is possible for us. And 3, we think the goal is worth the effort. So if we're not motivated, like Tanner in this instance, we can sometimes figure out why just by taking a look at these 3 things.
Right. So place a lot of importance on the outcome, which would be marrying his longtime girlfriend. He thinks achieving that goal is possible. He thought they were in love. He thought he could drop the weight, and he thinks the goal is worth the effort. He definitely thought it was worth the effort at that point because the only thing he was talking about was this girl. She was his whole universe, and that's just teenage dating.
And from there, you have the leverage to change it. You have the leverage to fire yourself up by just knowing which 3 of these areas you're maybe lacking in. So with Michaela out of the picture, Tanner needs to find a new source of motivation if he's going to succeed.
Well, I started doing this for Michaela.
This whole weight loss thing? You gotta do that for yourself, bud.
I'm the only person that's not gonna be able to let myself down.
After he's had time to process his breakup with Michaela, Tanner refocuses and realizes that if he's gonna do this thing, he has to do it for himself and himself only.
Talk about mom giving good mom advice, even when you're a kid and you don't want to friggin' hear it. Your parents are usually pretty much on the right side of things when it comes to your well-being and your future.
Made a commitment to this program, and I realized that I have to do this for me.
Tanner's back in the game. He's losing weight, he's hitting his exercises hard, he's crushing new obstacles.
You're a machine, you're a wrestler.
I feel pretty confident, and I think I got this.
So we're at the halfway point at 55 days.
I know I put the work in, I haven't cheated,
Yeah.
so.
229.2.
Okay. She called me the other night.
You ain't gonna go back to her, eh?
Probably not.
100%.
A few moments later.
Yes, we are back together, and she actually initiated it. It was kind of cool.
Duh, because she saw that you were doing good for yourself and realized that you weren't just falling to pieces like she probably friggin' wanted. I'm telling you, teenagers love to mess with each other in relationships. If she saw that he was striving and starting to do better on his own, of course she wanted back in there, and look where he's sitting, with a bag of Doritos with her on the couch, probably ready to quit the program so he doesn't lose her again. So this is just toxic the whole way
Relationship's
around.
180 degrees different than it was before. I mean, just 100% better.
And Tanner and Michaela got back together.
Duh.
I feel like I need to spend more time with her because obviously last time not spending enough time with her didn't work out.
And did you notice the foreshadowing there? So after getting back into his relationship, rather than it reigniting his motivation to change his behavior, Tanner is once again completely demotivated.
You know, I've already lost a bunch of weight. I feel great. Why do I have to keep pushing myself? The scale says I weigh 231 pounds, which is horrible.
He stopped showing up to his workouts, including missing almost an entire week of the program.
This is the real world now. This is the big leagues. You're 18 years old and you're in this program, and how you do is a reflection on you.
And while he's there, he lets Eric know that he's having some serious doubts about his ability and his desire to continue with the program.
If I don't finish the program, of course, it's gonna make me weaker. But at the same time,
You're afraid to succeed. Why is that?
don't you think if I knew I would do something about it? Like, I don't.
All you have to do is do it.
I can't.
All you have to do is do this.
I just don't feel.
I think this guy sucks at giving motivational advice. Of course, he's a teenager. He's driven by dating like every other teenage boy is. So there's no separation between him and Michaela there. Time apart for them probably would have been very beneficial. And you saw he started to rebound. But now that she's back in the picture, he doesn't have a why, which is what Kiana's been saying this whole time. What's your why? What's your reason for change? How bad do you want it?
Feel like I can't.
See, Tanner thought that if he lost weight, he'd be one step closer to marrying Michaela. But it turned out that the opposite was true. She dumped him for spending too much time working out and changing his behavior in a way that didn't really align with their relationship. So if we revisit the motivation equation, it's pretty obvious why Tanner is now thinking about quitting. Starting with value. The goal has less value now because actually working on the goal is getting in the way of the reward that he was looking for. And the
Also, at 18, you're getting ready to go to college. I don't know if you guys are going to different college, but the chances of her playing catcher for a different pitcher, pretty friggin' high. So you're probably going to be sitting there crying heartbroken here in a little bit anyway. So you could have just got all that out of the way in one swoop instead of doing it twice.
The cost factor is really important here. The value of the goal has now dropped. It was getting in the way of what he wanted, but the cost of the goal has remained the same. Like, you need a lot of motivation. You need the goal to be extremely valuable to have the motivation to work out for 5 hours every single day. So now that the work is no longer worth the reward, you have a predictably demotivated Tanner. So demotivated that Tanner actually quits out of the program. No happy ending here. He actually just fails out of the program and just completely stops showing up.
How do you feel Tanner's doing as we approach the last week of the program?
I think he failed.
Yeah.
You have to agree.
Yeah.
I bet you guys didn't see that coming. I know I didn't. Thing is, at the end of the day, in order to successfully change your behavior, you have to actually want to change. And you have to want it for you, not for anything external, including looking good for your girlfriend. Otherwise, you're just not going to have the drive to do what it takes.
Okay, so no happy ending, a lot of happy meals, but who saw that one coming? I definitely saw that one coming because it was a teenage relationship of 3 years where all they did was eat together. And the second she said something about how much are you going to be working out, I knew that that was going to be a problem for her. And then once they broke up and he started doing better, she said, well, damn, if he's going to do better without me, he can do worse with me. So let's get back together.
When the cost is so high. It's finally time for the final weigh-in, and Tanner ends up losing a total of 36 pounds in 110 days.
The big picture is it's failed. 80 pounds didn't happen.
Right.
Next time you set a goal, you're going to have to work a little harder towards it.
Now, I think the next step for you is to do your best.
For sure.
Again, pretty healthy weight loss numbers. He lost almost 40 pounds, which is pretty good considering that he failed out of the program. Like, if we were just talking about the number on the scale, by the numbers, he didn't fail at all. But
I also think he was fluctuating a lot. Like, he would lose weight, lose weight, gain it. So he was just kind of yo-yo dieting at that point. So he would get really driven for a little bit, and then Michaela would come around. They would go to Wendy's, Taco Bell, Live Más, and he would gain some friggin' weight, and then he would lose it again. So he was just up and down this whole friggin' time.
behaviorally, he quite literally gave up. So, I mean, that's a fail in my book. And I think the biggest problem with the whole quitting thing is if you go on a TV show at like 18 to change your life, and then you end up just kind of failing out of the program, like by choice, being, as far as I know, the only story that actually just kind of like quits out of the program, you're probably not going to feel very good about yourself. Quitting like that is probably going to result in a major hit to your self-esteem. And Tanner was right in thinking that if he quit out of the program, it would make him weaker in the future.
If I don't finish the program, of course, it's going to make me weaker.
because it would likely do just that, which is something that we actually talked about in my discipline video. And it's not like it's something that can't be overcome, but I just thought it would be interesting to mention because it definitely will have an effect on subsequent behavior unless he then like addresses it in some way.
He also had an issue with his self-esteem, which I think probably the father played a part in, being hard on him all the time, telling him he's a failure for this or that, and all of his self-worth was tied up in that girlfriend that he thought was so hot, so whatever. He didn't really have the value of his own self to go forward and do things for himself. So that's just kind of the things I'm picking up on. I don't know if I'm way off. I'm definitely not as well educated in this as she is.
Keeping the commitments that you make to yourself is so important for your overall levels of self-respect. So you have to be really, really smart and wise about which commitments that you make. At the end of the program, Tanner looks sad and disheveled. You can tell that he's disappointed in the way things went down.
I feel the same now as I did on day one. I feel like I'm fat. I feel like I need to lose weight still.
But here's the thing though,
You should probably stop throwing on a G-string and standing in the mirror if you don't want to see extra hanging out. Just saying, that's probably not the best idea. A singlet in front of the friggin' mirror if you're like, oh, I already feel fat and I feel, yeah, not a good idea.
Tanner's only motivation really was Michaela, then he probably wouldn't have cared that he didn't reach his goals. But Tanner did have other motivations. Tanner did have reasons that were important to him. He did want to make a change, but he didn't clarify those reasons to himself, at least not well enough, because all the focus was on his relationship and not why the change actually mattered to him as an individual.
Once I lose the weight and, I am lean, what's stopping me from getting big again?
You.
True.
There was definitely a ton of material here that could have helped Tanner build real motivation if he tapped into it. Now, in most other episodes I've seen of this show, typically the trainer will help their clients do that, but Eric was a one-trick pony.
This program is a big boy program. It's time for you to be a man. It's time for you to be a man today. This is the real world now. This is the big leagues. It's pick the weight up.
All this be a man bravado stuff like that doesn't work for everyone, but everybody's different. Everybody's layered. Like I said, different things are going to drive different people. It doesn't matter if it's spite. It doesn't matter. Like, there's unhealthy ways to do it. Obviously, there's healthy ways to do it. Personally, I think whatever works for you friggin' works for you. If you want to be toxic as hell to lose the weight, be toxic as hell. Whatever works, works.
By the way, let's go.
Is that all you got, man? Like, obviously the show is edited, and maybe Eric did do a better job than this, but Eric has to have brought the least amount of assistance I have ever seen from a personal trainer on a TV show ever.
Let's go. Come on. Pick it up. Pick it up. Come on. There you go. Nice. You're in a fight right now, right? The opponent is you.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the new place. Give me some. Good.
First off, Eric didn't notice anything wrong with Tanner making Michaela his main source of motivation. And in general, Eric just didn't really delve deep into why Tanner was on the show to change his life in the first place. Also, Eric keeps trying to motivate Tanner by bringing up his health.
He's got all of these things, and then of course, the biggest thing is his health is compromised. That's the ultimate health risk for being obese.
If you're telling a teenager, oh, your health this, your health that, when they're a teenager and they feel like they're freaking Superman most of the time already, like, there's a reason teenage boys' insurance, like car insurance, is way higher. It's because we do stupid, rash stuff. So he's going to do stupid, it's teenage stuff. It's so obvious to see how this was going to play out if you're actually watching it from that angle.
Needs to reprioritize and really understand what's the most important thing in his life, which is his health.
Health is notoriously a very non-motivational thing for most people. It's just not that motivational. It's too abstract, it's too distant in the future. It's not very motivational.
Ever since me and Michaela broke up, I'm keeping myself motivated, just, telling myself I want to be healthy and to make my future that much better.
Now, I don't know if personal trainers back then would have been trained in behavior change science. Today, I think most of them, if not all of them, are. But even back then, all the other trainers on the show have like a bag of motivational tricks that they use to motivate these teens and help these teens figure out why they want to be there. Throughout the episode, it was obvious that Tanner had some self-image issues. He had some serious limiting beliefs about what he could accomplish. And Eric himself noticed multiple times that Tanner seemed to struggle with pushing himself and seemed to hold himself back from success for some reason.
Tanner's biggest challenge is himself.
So had Tanner had some real assistance or just put things into perspective perspective for himself a little bit better, got clear on why this change was really so valuable to him, things might have turned out a lot differently. At the end of
I also don't think I realized that trainers actually went through all of that. Like, I didn't realize trainers had to have some kind of, I mean, I guess it makes sense why they would need all that behavioral stuff, but I didn't realize it. It wasn't something, I just thought, oh, you could throw around weight, you know how to put on muscle, you could be a trainer.
Of the show, Tanner plans to finish off his weight loss journey on his own and wants to keep progressing toward his goals. But at the follow-up, he's gone completely off the rails.
I've gained some weight back, but at this point in my life, I feel that's kind of like whatever. Honestly, losing weight just hasn't been a big priority with me.
And when Eric questions Tanner about what happened, he lets him know that he's no longer interested in changing at all.
You were like, I have no time to prepare the right meals for me.
All right, fine. I have time. I don't have the desire.
Ah. So what I'm hearing is you don't have desire to be healthy.
Probably the least motivational end to an episode of the show ever. In fact, another one of those 2011 polls from MTV showed that this was the least motivational episode of the entire show. Also for the
Well, yeah, because the whole thing just revolved around his relationship and that being his driving force. So I don't think most people are going to be motivated by that, at least not adults watching it. I think anybody that saw the writing on the wall saw like teenage relationship going to end badly at some point. They usually almost all do, and then it was going to be a crash and burn.
For the record, I feel like it's pretty obviously not Michaela's fault. I was just kind of hamming it up. But if you're feeling like you could use a way more motivational, inspirational vibe, check out this video on Jessie Shan's motivational weight loss journey. Or if you haven't seen my last episode on Tara and her evil mom, click here. Thank you guys.
I definitely want to check out that evil mom video. But yeah, no, it's kind of crazy to me. Like, people will place blame where they want to place it. Of course, most of the blame's on him. But did Michaela play a part? Yeah, of course she did. She was his driving force. She was this whole reason that he wanted to change in the first place. Do I think it's her fault? No. But do I think she played a part? Yeah. I mean, it's a teenage relationship. It's a driving force. So both of them played a part. Do I blame her? No. Do I think that she kind of maybe is like maybe 10% at fault? Maybe, because she probably could have just helped him, pushed him forward, and been like, all right, babe, I want you to do this. I want you to be the best version of you. But does she have to do that? No, it's just a friggin' relationship. So I guess none of it's her friggin' fault. I'm getting so confused. None of it's her fault. She doesn't have to be his driving force. He has to be the reason to want to change. You have to be your reason for want to change. But yeah, that's about it. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this one. And yeah, kind of fun just to check out a different show and check out Kiana's channel too on here. So I'll see y'all later. Bye.